Hello? Oh shit! Samantha Azira here. It's that time of year where it's starting to get cold outside, the leaves are falling, and it also means that it's Halloween time. So we gotta play some spooky games. Today's topic is specifically about zombies, which I am absolutely terrified of. I only own 5 games in my collection that I'm painfully aware of that have zombies in them, so I wanted to talk about them. First one up, Yakuza Dead Souls. I'm a big Yakuza fan. This game took me by surprise. I played Yakuza 0 first and ended up getting the entire collection. I actually found this at GameStop a couple of years ago I probably didn't spend more than $15 on it because I'm typically pretty cheap, and this game's already like skyrocketed up to $60. So let's go ahead and explore Yakuza Dead Souls. Yakuza Dead Souls was kind of a surprise to me. I've always loved this series, so it was kind of fun going back and seeing familiar faces and familiar areas, with obviously the spin of zombies, which was interesting for me because I love Yakuza, both for its seriousness and comedy.
熱もほら、37度ですよ。
ほとんど平熱じゃない。
微熱ですよ。いいんですか、私倒れちゃっても。
If you're not into games that have heavy story, then I would stay away from this one. But I have a lot of fun with the banter in the games and the story, and sometimes even the lore. Right off the bat at the beginning of the game, I think it does a good job of introducing you to the controls and how to use them. I believe it even gives you an option to skip those things, so if you want to figure it out for your own, or if you already know how to play. But I thought it was really cool how they introduced how to learn the controls. And so right off the bat, you learn how to fire your weapon, reload it. Later on, you're going to learn how to pick items up so you can kick the crap out of zombies. I believe later on in the game, you can even play as different people or even possibly have a partner. There's a lot of item management, just kind of like in the Yakuza games. I didn't get far enough into the game to really explore all of its features, but I did have a lot of fun playing it, despite my fear of zombies. And so I would say if you guys are looking for a fun game to play with a heavy story, this would be a game I would recommend. Unfortunately, it is, I believe, exclusive to the PlayStation 3 and has been going up in price. So I would suggest if you're thinking about getting this one, go ahead and pick it up sooner than later, because I think the price is only going to continue to rise. So to touch a little bit more on the leveling system, as you progress through the game, you're going to earn experience to spend points to upgrade different things. You can upgrade abilities, the ability to hold more items, I believe to fire more weapons or carry more weapons. And so as you progress through the game, you can kind of choose what you want to be proficient at, how much you want to be able to carry. I didn't play, like I said, enough through the game to really explore all of this, but I know that in the original Yakuza series, the skill trees are pretty extensive. It doesn't look that complicated in this game, which is fine because it's a spin-off game, and I believe that it's still probably a lot of fun. I'm playing on easy mode, and so that's probably why I have infinite ammo. I would probably believe that if you were to play this on a difficult level, that you'd probably have to manage your ammo as well. But if anyone has played this game, please let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. Next up is a pretty popular game, Dead Island. I hear about this all the time. I don't recall where I picked this up. It was probably a thrift store pickup, but this one I believe has a lot of followers, and so let's go ahead and check this one out as well. So if you want to be gamer like me, you're gonna have to know that in order to play this game, you have to switch it from the co-op to single player, otherwise it will keep trying to get you to connect to the internet. So on this game, you get to choose between 4 characters right off the bat, and they all have different skills. It was really hard for me not to choose Sam B for obvious reasons, but I went ahead and chose the melee because I like getting in people's faces. Except for zombies, which I really didn't think this one through. But at the beginning of the game, you pretty much wake up in a hotel after a night of partying, I believe. The cutscene at the very beginning has awesome music that you should check out. So at the beginning of the game, I found my first glitch, which was super funny, because it took me all of like 5 seconds to freaking die in this game, and it wasn't even because of a zombie. But after that little snafu, I managed to make my way to finally fight some zombies and get my butt kicked like pretty much right off the bat. If you ever want to be able to identify somebody panicking during a game, just watch all of my swings during this scene. I don't know why I'm so scared of zombies. I don't know why I decided to make this video, but here is sheer panic in just trying to freaking get through this game and save this dude. Later on, you find out that you're immune, and nobody knows why, but basically that means that you get sent to do all the fetch quests because you can't get infected, which is totally lame, and that would be my life. If there's a zombie outbreak, please don't make me immune. I don't want to be the fetch quest person. But if I've learned anything about zombies, is you always make sure they're dead. If you've seen Zombieland, you know that you always gotta double tap. So I think I can understand why people love this game so much. It definitely seems like it has a lot of character. I got scared pretty fast, so I didn't last very long. But this game definitely seems to have a lot of charm. And so this game you can get dirt cheap on Xbox 360, and they did remake it on the PlayStation 4. If anyone has great experiences with this one, let me know. Red Dead Redemption got a standalone, almost expansion pack. It is Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. You can play this as a standalone game, and it's actually still fairly cheap. It basically is an alternate timeline to the main game. So let's explore this one as well. So right off the bat, your uncle has completely lost his mind, and he's become a zombie. And now you basically have to put him down after he bit your wife. And honestly, the controls for the gun in this game have probably been my favorite so far. I kind of like the whole GTA aiming system. So right off the bat, your wife has been bit. You have no idea what's going on yet. And you have a son as well who's come out to see what's going on, and unfortunately he also gets just a little bit too close. And so now you've got a problem on your hands. Both your wife and your son have been bitten. And now you have to hog tie them up because you don't want to kill them, right? And so for the wife, I was trying to hog tie her, and I was doing okay. You know, I got her pretty much from the get-go. And then it came time to fetch the son. And I have no idea what happened, but holy cow, was I having some trouble. So let's speed this up a little bit.
What is going on here? First try.
And then it was time to go to town. Does anyone want to take a wild guess on how this is going to go for me? I get into town, and I'm dealing with 1 or 2 zombies, right? 1 or 2, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, it's like search for survivors, and I attract every freaking zombie in town. I did not dare to turn around, and the game's all like, oh, you have to manage your ammo, when I've got an army of zombies. So that was the end of this game for me. But I would like to know if anyone's played through this. The storyline seemed very funny and cheeky, and honestly, I wish I could get over my fear of zombies because this one actually legitimately seemed fun. I have not played Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption 2, so maybe I'll just fall back on those. Alright you guys, I'm getting tired of these freaking zombies. But the next one is Resident Evil 4. This is a very popular game. I hear about Resident Evil 4 a lot. Not as much as 2. I know that the Biohazard, or I think that's what it was called, is pretty popular as well. For obvious reasons, since I'm terrified of zombies, I typically don't play Resident Evil games. This one was a 2-disc one. I thought that was pretty interesting. I do remember where I got this one. I got it from St. Vincent de Paul several years ago for probably less than $15. I typically don't pay a lot for thrift store finds, so let's go ahead and explore Resident Evil 4. It did not take very long for me to figure out why people like this game so much. Immediately, the story had me drawn in. I, unfortunately, will probably not play through this game. Although it looks amazing, I'm probably gonna have to watch someone else play it. I liked how immediately you definitely felt like an agent. The story really drew you in, and it doesn't take very long for you to get into the game and actually start seeing some action. I would say that's probably a flaw with some of the other zombie games that we talked about earlier, where it does take a while for you to get into the action. But this one in particular, I could see why people loved this one so much. Now, I don't play very many Resident Evil games for obvious reasons. I know that this one's fairly popular and got a couple remakes. I think it's on Wii and PlayStation 4. I'm curious to know what you guys think in terms of Resident Evil 4 versus 2, because I feel like those are the two most popular ones from my observation. But the graphics, as you can tell, are probably not so much GameCube due to some things that had happened. I had to record it other ways with my super secret GameCube. But anyway, this game is very captivating. I could see why this would hold someone's attention. I didn't get too terribly into it, only because of the whole fear factor on my end, but I would do very, very poorly with managing my items and managing my ammo. When I get scared, I typically just fire off, and if I'm out of bullets, I pretty much just call it quits. Gaming Off the Grid talks about Zombie U all the time, and the game has somehow eluded me up until just recently, where I picked it up for $5 at a local game store. I actually don't see this very often in the wild, which is interesting because you think it would be all over the place since this is one of the games that sold kind of at the beginning of the Wii U's lifespan. So let's go ahead and explore Zombie U. So right off the bat, you're going to notice that I have my Wii U gamepad. And I think that's a big selling point for this game. I think a lot of people crap on the Wii U, but honestly, the Wii U gamepad might be one of its best features. I'm not somebody who plays a lot of zombie games. I am somebody who gets scared very easy. So you'd be like, well, Sam, then why are you making this video? I'm trying to bring to light some games that I think are worth playing if you're able to play through them without being a chicken like me. Honestly, out of all of the games that I've been observing and trying to play, and not really making it much past the tutorials, I honestly think this might be one of the best zombie games out there, besides The Last of Us. I think that this one is giving you a much more in-depth and immersive experience. And if you're somebody who enjoys zombie games and hasn't played this one, I would truly recommend it. And I understand that my recommendation does not mean much. Maybe go ahead and go to Gaming Off the Grid's YouTube channel and checking it out. But this one seems very much like the 28 Days movies, almost. You know, because like in this game right here, I don't know if you can see the fear, but I have to run past these zombies, which is like my worst freaking fear. Basically, the guy was like, hey, they're attracted to light. And so you can't turn your flashlight on, otherwise it will attract the undead. Which is terrifying. As you can tell, I've paused the game. because I pause the game when I'm about to die or when I'm terrified. So in any case, I try to suck it up for the video and I run to the freaking door and there's freaking zombies everywhere. I don't know if you can see the fear in my face. I hate this angle, but I wanted you guys to see that the Wii U gamepad, like how it interacts with the game. And so right at the very beginning, the game instructs you to look at your gamepad and you're able to open up basically a map. And so you're able to see where you're going on the Wii U gamepad, and it basically helps you kind of give yourself direction, which is super creative. I don't know why I do not hear people talk about this game more. And so I imagine that as you work through the game, you get more tools to add to your Wii U gamepad that you can use during the game. That probably makes it very interactive compared to other zombie games. At the beginning of the game, you're stuck outside and a guy from like this camera basically calls you in and tries to save you, but he's kind of also the guy leading you. You don't really meet him, but basically one of the very first things you do is, well, you get safe because he leads you to safety, and then you end up in this room with like some computers and he's talking to you, and then he's talking to you about your first mission. And this is when I knew that this game was going to scare the piss out of me. The last person who survived is now dead, but he has a backpack full of stuff that you have to go get. And I am not too keen on playing zombie games without weapons, people. So you guys are all gonna have to tell me if you played this or if you have any interest in playing it. Last one. This is the only zombie game I legitimately wanted to have in my collection and like. Typing of the Dead. This game is so cheesy and arcadey, and the best part is you have to use a Dreamcast keyboard to play. So let's talk about the cheesy lines and the funny gameplay. Now this is definitely not a scary zombie game, but I couldn't resist talking about it.
The typing of the dead.
We're meeting G over there.
As you can tell, with the voice acting and the way that the graphics are, this is my kind of zombie game. So this game has gotten fairly expensive. I think I ended up paying like $90 for a sealed copy, which I ended up opening, and I know a bunch of you are cringing and I'm sorry, but I really wanted this game. Actually, I deliberately bought it to teach my nephews how to be better keyboardists, basically. But I did not realize how cheesy the voice acting was.
Try. Don't underestimate the enemy. James, take this.
I mean, you heard it at the beginning, right? It's not just me. But if you want this game, it is going to cost you kind of a pretty penny. But it is crazy fun, super unique. I don't think I've seen anything like this in a long time. And I kind of wish I had this back when I was a kid. This is the only zombie game I can tolerate playing. For obvious reasons. I mean, it's really just not that scary. And that's fine. I love this game for that. I mean, the story isn't anything to write home about, but I mean, honestly, when it comes to the quirky and weird stuff, the story doesn't matter to me. I mean, this is just a really fun game. I love that I own the game and the keyboard. It's just a very unique experience that I don't think we're gonna get in the future for sure. I mean, I know there's like typing games for kids and stuff like that, but I mean, when's the last time you ever saw anything like this? And so I hope that if any of you are interested, that you end up investing in this game and playing it through. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to play through the whole game and maybe give it a review in the future. but I would really like to know if any of you have ever played this, if you played it back in the day, because I only got mine recently. And so I'm curious if any of you got this back when it was actually a new game. And did that make an impact on you? Did you become a better keyboardist because of it? I really would actually like to know. So please comment down below. So those are 5 zombie games that are in my personal collection. I do not like zombies, I get scared pretty easy, but given that it's Halloween season, I went ahead and gave them a shot. Let me know down below what your guys' favorite zombie games are, and what your thoughts are on the games that I showed you today. Thank you so much for watching.